Hey everyone, welcome to Aussie Footy Chats, episode 5, Brisbane Lions Trade Chats. So I'm just going to have a chat about what Brisbane Lions did during the trade period, sort of who they brought in, what picks they've done, and we'll go from there. Brisbane Lions are the premiership team. They won the last two premierships back to back, and they're going for a third premiership in a row. So they've got a lot of good lists, a lot of good talent on the list. So we'll see how they go this year, whether they can go three in a row. So I'll just sort of talk about which player they got rid of first, and that's Brendan Starcevic. He's a key defender, lockdown defender who plays on sort of the mid-size forwards to the tools. So he's a versatile type player who plays a very tough lockdown role in the defense. And so he is nominated to go back to WA. And so he was traded to West Coast for a second round pick, approximately pick 35. They shuffled some late picks and swapped the third and a fourth with Collingwood for a better number round pick at number 59. And picked up an extra third from Melbourne in a multi-club deal, and there was no other major players involved in those moves. So they were just picks swapped around. Like I said, so West Coast now get a key defender that has premiership experience. So for those who don't know West Coast, they've struggled the last few years. So they brought someone home, given him a multi-year deal. He has had some issues with concussion, which we pray the best for him and that he gets through and can finish off his career at West Coast and help them rise the ladder. So I'll get into West Coast when I talk about them next. But yeah, so Brisbane basically got rid of a good player. So yeah, wasn't that they got rid of him, but he wanted to move. So that's the one player that they traded out. As I mentioned with the Calamarchi deal, Brisbane wanted Adelaide's first round pick, and that wasn't going to happen. So what happened was that whole deal fell through. And Brisbane were going to let him walk to the draft. So I've sort of gone through that in my previous podcast with the Adelaide Crows. So yeah, I covered that quite well there. And just to mention through here, that's what's happened. So Brisbane will not get a pick for that player. And so we'll go into the players. They also got Oscar Allen through free agency, and they got Draper as well from Essendon. So they got two key position players through free agency, so it didn't cost them anything to get them. So they didn't have to give up any picks. They nominated to go there. So Draper will be a key position forward / ruckman. And Oscar Allen probably will be predominantly up forward as a key position forward line. So that being said, I'll just read the details here. So they've picked up a ruck replacement for Oscar McInerney, who's retired as well. So Draper will probably fit into that. I would assume Draper will play predominantly ruck. So this year he's just actually come off an injury where he snapped his Achilles. Unfortunately, it was quite painful and serious injury. And so he's going to have to be in recovery. He's been in recovery sort of since the early rounds of this year's football. So he should come back and be ready probably for the start of the year, I would assume. Or they might ease him into it. But he should be ready to go. Ready-made ruckman, big guy. He's from SA, big boy. And Oscar Allen also is another key position player. He's quite big as well. So he's a key position forward. He'd be a full forward, or he could play centre forward, but I would say he'd be at full forward for them. So when you look at it, they got the retirement of Joe Danaher from a couple of years ago now, and they've had Logan Morris, Eric Hipwood, and Ty Gallup sort of come in and take that role. Unfortunately, Eric Hipwood did his knee and did an ACL, so he's probably going to be out for most of the year because they didn't find that till late. Ty Gallup's, premiership player now. He's come in and really just took a hold of the forline along with Logan Morris with the amount of goals that he kicked. And both of them are only young key forwards, so they've got plenty of experience already by winning a premiership. Logan Morris, a dual premiership player. So yeah, they've had a couple of retirements with Oscar McInerney and Joe Danaher in the last couple of years. So Oscar McInerney is a key ruckman. He is a big boy. Could pinch hit up forward a bit too. Could go down and easy kick a goal. He did it against Port a lot, from what I remember watching him. So yeah, he's going to be a big loss. He did his shoulder last year just before the grand final, and he's a great role model to show people if you get injured and still support your teammates and be around them. And he was like the good luck story of this year when he come back and he actually played in the premiership winning side against Geelong. So they beat Geelong, and yeah, he got to actually win a premiership and have that premiership medallion after all the heartbreak of the year before the injury. So congratulations to him on his career. It was really well done. So that's a bit of the individual players that have retired or left. And just going through this as well, I've explained to Calamachi, after requesting a trade to Adelaide, who had tabled a 5-year deal, but the Lions did not accept the offer for a future second round and third round. They are now likely to lose versatile defender, forward and midfielder Archie for nothing through the preseason draft. So I've sort of added that in. So that's the player situation, whether it's from free agency or trade. And now I'll go through just their picks. So they've got pick 17, which is a first round pick, 23, 44, 51, 59, 68, 79, 97, and 115. Now this leaves them with a bit of draft capital to go into this year's draft. So they appeared to accumulate enough points to match a bid on their projected top 5 draft pick, Dan Alabel. So they've got another player coming through their academy and in their area, and he's projected to be a top 5 draft pick. So they've built up these points with all these extra draft picks, so they could use, say, pick 23. They could go into the draft with a first round pick and pick a player, which also is a first round pick, but it might be at 17, so it's dropped a bit. But they could give up sort of, say, pick 23, 51, 59, and 79 to accumulate a package for a top 5 player. So they'll walk away with 2 first round draft pick players, one higher, obviously, near the 5th spot, and one on the lower rank outside of the 10 and at 17. So that is pretty cool to see a team have that much success and then still have great list management to build up. So they have 2 first round picks, and they could potentially almost play in the side instantly alongside Oscar Allen and Sam Draper. So that's quite interesting in itself. That's 4 new players, 2 key position players, 1 a ruckman, 1 a key forward, a top 5 pick that would be that they're looking for, and another one, whether they go for a young ruckman they can develop since they've lost one, or they go for another midfielder. We'll be seen to see what happens. So that being said, it's pretty interesting times for them, going for their 3rd flag and having all these picks, players, and extra players coming in through free agency. Although losing 2 star quality players up either end of the ground. So Calamachi plays such a defensive forward role, or on the wing as defence. Can play half back if you need to, but generally that's where he plays. So and Brendan Sarcevic as well, so a lockdown defender that can play on a tall or the smalls, or a mid-sized player, predominantly the mids to talls. So the versatility of those two guys will impact the side, but maybe they'll look for a young player to replace those sort of roles. And I'm sure they've got a few younger guys that could play that role. But they tend to have a lot of sort of smaller mids that have come through the last few years. So they're they wanted to probably keep Archie more than lose him from how they sort of walked him to the draft, which is pretty rare that you see that these days. It does happen. So yeah, they could have got more draft picks and capital, but maybe they'll send in a message to the other players that they would like to keep him and keep a dynasty going because they are building a great team and they're going for 3 premierships in a row, back to back to back. They did that in the early 2000s. So yeah, the Brisbane Lions are settled in to be a great side, and they're moving forward. So I hope that sort of explains a bit of Brisbane's side of things and how they'll position themselves to go for a full tilt in the finals this year again. There's no doubt about that. They'll play finals, depending on how many injuries they have, like any side. But they got the experience, they got the list, and they're quite good. That photo up there of Lockie Neal, that's one of my paintings. Lockie Neal's there. It's Jewel Brownlow, dual premiership player. So yeah, he has another good year. He'd definitely be up there in the Brownlow and contention for All Australian alongside most of the McCluggage and a few of the other players. So it's an interesting time. And now they got a key position forward as Oscar Allen, who's had a few injuries at West Coast. If he has a good run, which Joe Danaher did at Brisbane, there's no doubt that they're going to be a team to beat. And he could kick bags of goals, along with Draper being in the ruck. We have Darcy Ford. So you got 2 ruckmen, Oscar Allen that will be playing up forward, Eric Hipwood to come back later in the season, and all the injured players that they still had. They had quite an injury list, as Jackson Payne was injured, so another key position defender comes back. So that just, yeah, I like, you look at that and you look at their list, you look at, they got 2 first-round draft picks with them using their draft capital to build up into the top of the draft. It's quite exciting times for the Brisbane Lions, and they're going to be hard to beat. So that's my summary on Brisbane. I would say if you really look at that, it's almost close to giving them a B to an A. So yeah, if they got picks for Archie and did the right thing there, but they stuck to their guns and didn't. But I would have rated them a bit higher. Like I said, I don't like rating the trades, but they also got a couple of players through free agency, which is a separate sort of thing. But overall, if you combine it all together, it's quite good. It's very hard not to be excited, and good on Brisbane. So I hope you enjoyed the podcast. I have a new camera now, and we're getting into it. And enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed this podcast, and thank you very much. And like and subscribe. Just show your mates this channel, and let's just build this channel up, and we'll be getting a guest on sort of soon, once I sort of explain all these trades. So my next team will be on to Carlton. So all the Blues fans, get excited. So we'll go through that, and I hope everyone enjoyed this, and the Brisbane fans can sort of have a real optimistic year and go back to back to back. So they're going to be hard to stop. So have a lovely Sunday and enjoy your day. Thank you.